What up, guys? I'll have to be real quiet because my kids are upstairs sleeping. But today, I'm about to show you guys the style of training I've been doing for the past 15 to 20 years. And it has allowed me to build my physique where it's at. But I promise you, if you do this style of training, you will put on the most muscle mass. Your muscles will grow the biggest they've ever been, probably in your life. So do this style of training if you want to get big. All right, so now let's talk about the difference between strength training and hypertrophy training, okay? So let's start with strength training. Strength training, you might hear this term thrown around when people talk about going to the weight room and training, right? Their strength training. The goal for that is they want to get stronger and move as much weight as they can. So, right, that's the goal. Like I said, move more weight. This is the main thing that people focus on for strength training. So, when you think of strength training, you think of people that are like power lifters, right? Their goal is to lift as much weight as possible, right? So they're training strictly for strength. They really don't care for how big they get. This is the reason why you can see some power lifters that are, some of them may look skinny, like they're skinny, but they can still move a lot of weight. And that's because they train for strength versus hypertrophy. So, goal for strength training is, like I said, move more weight, okay? Typically their volume is between 2 to 6 sets, and that's per exercise. So just think of like the bench press. They're gonna do 2 to 6 sets, and the rep ranging for the strength training is 6 or fewer reps, right? 6 or fewer. And then they're more than likely using 85 to 95 to 100% of their max, especially if they're going for 1 rep, that's 100% of the max. So 85% of their 1 rep max, and typically the rest period between set is 2 to 5 minutes. Okay, it just depends on, like, if you're going very heavy, you're doing like sets of 3 or so, and you want to make sure you get all the reps, so you're going to take all the rest, and the maximum rest is typically like 5 minutes. But other than that, if they're just doing like 6 or so, 5, they're typically going to take 2 minutes for rest. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the hypertrophy training, and this is the style of training that I've done for like the last 15 years, like I said. The goal for this is increase muscle size, and that's huge to me. That's the reason why I chose hypertrophy training versus strength training, because when I was younger, I was really skinny kind of growing up. I was like the runt of the family. I didn't eat all my food. My brothers would make fun of me. They'd be like, "Oh, you know, you skinny dude." Like, my brother's 6'3" now, he was taller. And I was just like, and we're twins, right? We're not identical, but he got all the height, and I was just like a twig growing up. My younger brother was bigger than me too. But I was like a little twig growing up. And my confidence wasn't very high at all. My brothers and them, they were always out hanging out with their girlfriends, or just hanging out with girls, period. And I was just inside, like, gaming. Like, I was a nerd, I had glasses, didn't wear the best clothes. I mean, we grew up with my grandparents, so we didn't have a ton of money. But my brothers seemed like they had plenty of money because they really dressed well. They were good looking, at least the girls they hung out with thought they were good looking. Like my younger brother, people would say, "Oh, he looks like Usher," and my other brother was really tall, dark, and handsome, whatever. You have me, and then you have me, like I was a little nerd, and glasses, and I had like a speech impediment, like I had a list, you can kind of still hear it. But you pair that with being skinny and glasses and nerd, like my confidence just wasn't there. So I wanted something that would kind of give me the edge over any of them. Like, I wanted something to be proud of. And then my grandpa got us he got us some weights, and we started doing weights in the middle of, like, every night. At the end of the night, we do some weights. We do different exercises like floor presses and bicep curls, whatnot. And then soon, we did that for a while. Then we moved the weights downstairs to the basement. And that's really when I really started to fall in love with it, because with my confidence being low when I was weight training and lifting, I just liked how it made me feel. I liked how it made me feel, and then I just fell in love with it. So while my brothers to went out to go out and party and stuff, I would just go downstairs and hit a workout. And over time, my confidence continued to grow. And like before we know it, like one day my brothers came in and they're like, "Man, you just like kind of woke up big overnight." And I'm like, "Nah, bro. I mean, you might think so, but they didn't see me grinding because they were outside hanging out with girls, partying, and I was downstairs hitting the weights." But I'm getting off on a tangent. But so let me tell you a little bit more about hypertrophy training. So let me get on this side. So hypertrophy training, like I said, the goal is to increase muscle size. That's what I wanted. Volume. So volume for this is different than volume from strength training. Volume, typically you're gonna do about 3 to 4 sets per body part, right? Per body part, or at least no, not even per body part, probably per exercise. So say for chest, like if I'm doing chest, I typically do 2 to 3 exercises, right? I do 2 to 3 exercises. 2 to 3 exercises, and I do at least 3 sets, right? At least 3 sets, 3 working sets, not including the warm-up set. Like I might do 1 or 2 warm-up sets, and then I'll get right into the 3 hard sets. And those rep ranges for hypertrophy, they fall in the 8 to 12 rep range. That is the range which focuses on like increasing that muscle size, right? Increasing the muscle size, not necessarily strength, because you want fewer reps for the strength, but you're working the muscle a little bit more for the increase in size. So 8 to 12 is like the golden area for building that muscle size. And then for the percentages, you're using 75 to 85% of your 1 rep max for the weight, and rest periods are generally a little less than the strength training. So you're doing a set of 10. Your most rest you'll probably do is a minute. Like for me, when I'm doing sets of 10, I would probably rest between 30 and 45 seconds, and then I'm right into the next set. So that is hypertrophy training. That's a style of training I've been doing for the last 15 years, and it's allowed me to gain like all this muscle that I have now and still have. That's the style of training I prefer. But those are the 2 differences between strength training and hypertrophy training. I recommend you, if you are looking to build size, not necessarily getting stronger, but if you want to just stay skinny, or you're skinny and you want to bulk up, right? You're not going to train for strength. You're not going to focus on strength training. You want to focus on hypertrophy training, because that is what's going to give you the appearance of like growing your muscles, right? And you're going to get strong. Like if you start skinny, you're definitely going to get stronger. But more than that, your muscle size will increase. And obviously obviously you still have to eat. You got to make sure your diet's locked in, like you're eating, like for protein wise. I always like to do like whatever you weigh, get that in grams of protein. So if you weigh 130 pounds, get 130 grams of protein, right? And then when it comes to your training, you want to make sure you are training whatever exercise group you do. If you're doing arms, you're going to do 2 exercises, 3 sets each, and you're going to do 8 to 12 reps. And how you know you're at a good rep range is, say you want to do 8 reps, right? You get to that 7th one, you're good, and that 8th one is a very, 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 very hard struggle, and you can't do 9 reps. That's how you know you're at the sweet spot. If you go anywhere over 12 reps, then you're kind of focusing on doing endurance. Like endurance is muscular endurance. So that is seeing how many times you can do a weight before your arms start to get tired. And that's not what we're going for. We're going for growth. You want bigger muscles, right? So we have to stay within that 8 to 12 rep range. So when you go to the gym again, start really focusing on doing hypertrophy training. If your goal is to get bigger, do hypertrophy training versus strength training, and I promise you, you will get bigger way faster. The weight might not go up, but I promise you, you're start to get way more looks than anybody else that's focusing on strength. Like, your looks are gonna be there. You're gonna feel fantastic. You're gonna look fantastic, and people are gonna ask you, like, man, what have you been doing? Like, because your arms are looking bigger. Like, your shirts are fitting a little tighter. And shit, if you got a significant other, they're gonna be like, man, like, they're gonna be hugging up on you because your arms are gonna be bulging. So focus on doing hypertrophy training. I promise you, you will not go wrong.